ग्रेट थिंग इज आर्या में कि भाई क्राइम थ्रिलर वो सब तो है ही है, तो ऑडियंस के लिए वो एक थाली में जो मेन आलू जो होना चाहिए और रोटी और दाल वो है। ओके, लेकिन रोटी दाल और आलू के साथ थाली में और कुछ भी होना चाहिए ना, बिकॉज दैट्स द ओनली वे that you will find that this thali has a balanced thali. Yeah. And in that, I always put in stuff which is going to elevate it. I'm not nervous.
No?
I'm very nervous. But I can't say I'm nervous.
Radio Nasha.
You know, I loved कि twists बढ़ गए. I loved कि धीरे धीरे मासूमियत कम हुई और हमने देखा, वो हमने एक्सपीरियंस किया. आई लव्ड कि पिछले हाफ सीज़न और उसके पिछले सीज़न में हमने फैमिली ड्रामा, क्राइम, एक्शन, थ्रिल सब कुछ इंटरवाइंड एक तरीके से देखा. आई लव्ड हाउ स्माइल्स फेडेड. आई लव्ड हाउ स्कार्स डीपेंड विद एन uproar. But what I didn't like was that the last season, half a season, was so small, ये दिल मांगे more.
और अभी and very soon ये एक हफ्ते में on Feb 9th, we are hoping that your heart will be satisfied.
Oh my God, looking forward to it. Hi, मैं हूँ रुचि, आरजे रुचि, रंगीली रुचि. You're watching me, you're listening to me on Radio Nasha. और मेरे साथ में है राम माधवानी, जिन्होंने कि बनाया है आर्या. And I am so thankful to you because you know, let me start from the start. ये शो आया था उस समय जब हम सभी लोगों को ज़रूरत थी किसी एक ऐसी चीज़ की जो कि हमें एक बहुत ही बुरे समय से डाइवर्ट भी कर सके. एंड यू नो, दिस केम इन 2020, द फर्स्ट सीजन ऑफ इट. आई वाज गोइंग थ्रू अ लॉट पर्सनली इन माय लाइफ. आई was pregnant in the pandemic. Whoa, so it was like a huge phase for me. But yeah, you know, it was a great diversion for people, and that is why I think, you know, लोगों ने, you know, they just got into the story of it. वो ड्रामा जो है वो लोगों की जिंदगी में जो ड्रामा था ना उससे बेहतर लग रहा था. And now we are here, third season का second part. How nervous are you?
No, I'm not nervous.
No?
I'm very nervous. But I can't say I'm nervous.
Yeah, we are not shivering because ये जगह बहुत ठंडी है. We are shivering.
No, reputations are made better, newer work that, you know, whether you will get other work from the people that, you know, you're hoping to satisfy, including people like you. Yeah. So a lot depends on whether you'll like it or not. So I'm hoping that you'll like it. Otherwise, I'll be out of a job.
No, that is not possible because आपने ये time and again prove किया है कि you are a master of your craft.
Thank you.
Be it your ad films या फिर national award winning film नीरजा या फिर आर्या season 1, 2, 3.1 and 3.2 if we can call it that. मुझे ना एक बहुत ही खूबसूरत चीज़, I love storytelling and I love poetry and I have loved how माफियाज की बात चल रही है, फैमिली ड्रामा चल रहा है, बच्चे जो हैं छोड़ रहे हैं, जा रहे हैं, उनकी जिंदगी में भी कुछ हो रहा है और पीछे से ना डायलॉग्स में एक पोइट्री है. हाउ डिड यू मैनेज टू डू दैट? इट्स लाइक एन अमैलगमेशन ऑफ टू डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ आर्ट फॉर्म्स और आपने इसको पोइट्री फॉर्म में कैसे बताया?
Such a good question. दो तीन चीज़ है इसमें. I'm going to spend 2 minutes answering it. एक तो मेरे writers, okay, which is also part. Anu Singh Chaudhary, who's also written a lot of it. This season was Khushbu. In season 1 was Sandeep Srivastav. So there are many teams of writers who are part of this whole thinking. But eventually they know that there is this one person who has these kidas. Okay, और ये जो कीड़ा जो is part of the influences of my own life. Okay, कि एक the great thing is आर्या में कि भाई क्राइम थ्रिलर वो सब तो है ही है, तो ऑडियंस के लिए वो एक थाली में जो मेन आलू जो होना चाहिए और रोटी और दाल वो है. ओके, लेकिन रोटी दाल और आलू के साथ थाली में और कुछ भी होना चाहिए ना, बिकॉज दैट्स द ओनली वे that you will find that this thali has a balanced thali.
Yeah.
And in that, I always put in stuff which is going to elevate it.
Yeah.
Okay, and it does not make it just an ordinary thali. So I'll always put in Bhagavad Gita, or I'll put in Dharma and Karma, or I'll put in whatever, you know, the song which was about Digambar Khele Masane Mein Holi. So I'll always put in stuff like some spoken verse. I'll put in all of that. because constantly this is not a show, ये सिर्फ crime है नहीं, ये thriller है नहीं,
Absolutely
ये
not.
family show है, और
Yeah.
family show के बीच में it has something which will allow you to hopefully ask some questions which are not pakao, but they are philosophical questions. They are
Yeah.
questions about life.
Yeah.
And the best way to enter portals about questions about life is either through music or poetry. I'm constantly trying to figure out कि ये audience के लिए ये थोड़ा तड़का होना चाहिए, और वो audience के लिए वो तड़का होना चाहिए.
वाह.
So everybody in the room, because I'm very interested in family audiences, I'm very interested in reaching out to 800 million people.
Yeah.
Okay, and therefore I'm constantly worrying about is this person of the audience should like this, and that person in that audience should like that, and so I'm reaching out to all age groups and to all genders.
But tell me, कोई एक ऐसी poetic line है क्या जो कि आपके दिमाग में रह गई है?
अरे यार,
जैसे जो यूज ही किया जा रहा है वो भी इतना बेहतरीन है कि शेरनी का शिकार, आर्या, ये अंतिम वार, you know, everything is poetic. So
you know, when I was growing up, I saw Yadav Ki Barat about some 12-15 times. I saw Padosan some 19 times, okay? And one of the things about those movies from that time was what they used to call as dialogue baji. So dialogue baji is actually the game of dialogues. Jugalbandi hona chahiye, okay? It's a thing that we have lost because over time we've tried to make dialogue very realistic.
Yeah.
So in the writer's room, we have what we call as a dialogue audit.
Okay.
Okay. कि ये एपिसोड में कितने डायलॉग है और इसमें से आर्या ने कितने बोले, इसमें खान has said so much dollars. So we actually make sure that we the dialogue baji part of it. Now we may throw the dialogue away. I won't say it in a filmy way, but the dialogue baji is something which is very, very important because of my own growing up, you know, sort of, I love dialogues, you know, and even when we are with friends, we are always using Hindi film dialogues, you know, whether it's in a corny way or not in a corny way, whatever. So I think that dialogues is something which is part of our cinema, and I don't want to lose it.
We play retro music.
Right.
And I would love if you could tell me, वो कौन सी फिल्में थी that you grew up watching, that inspired you and, you know, your way of filmmaking or ad filmmaking or the way you work?
So I'm not talking about the European films.
No,
I won't
Indian,
talk about the
Bollywood.
Hollywood films. I'll only talk about the Hindi films.
Hanji.
Primarily is because that was my exposure. It was not actually, and of course Bengali films because of Satyajit Ray and all that. But in the Hindi commercial world, I saw everything, like you name it, and obviously we used to buy records, and I saw movies 5 times, 6 times, 7 times because the nice thing was that we came up from a small town called Barsi, और वहाँ 4 theatre थे, which were named after the 4 Mangeshkar sisters. Okay,
wow.
And my family knew the owners, so every time that there was a new movie, even if it was houseful, I was given a special seat. They used to put a chair. They used to give me mangola in those days. They used to give me popcorn, and I used to sit there.
Yeah.
And I could go into the theatre whenever I felt like. So it was a big deal. It was also, movies, you know, made me forget, and they also made me remember.
That's what I think they're supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so Yash Chopra, I mean, Ramesh Sippy, I must have seen Shakti, and even now Shakti influences me hugely in Aarya also, because eventually it is a father who decides to do something against his son, and over here in Aarya it is a mother who decides to do something for her children against her father.
Yeah.
And there are questions of dharma in Shakti which are there in Aarya. So in the writer's room, constantly, now in this climax you will see, we are looking at Khuda Gawah, we are looking at Mukulanand, we are looking at Hum, we are looking at a lot of stuff, and we are all fanatics and we are all fans of a lot of those movies that we were so excited, no? कि इंटरवल में भी हम वो जो पोस्टर जो होते थे ना लॉबी में, वो आजकल वो पोस्टर होते नहीं लॉबी में, you know, which was कि अच्छा ये सीन हुआ, अच्छा वो सीन अभी आने वाला है, वो अभी तक नहीं आया है. So it's a big deal because even now, like when I go out for a movie and I'll go there early, I'll sit down. Okay, then suddenly my wife may say, now, you know, in the car I ask everybody, भाई अभी से मुझे बोलो इंटरव्यू में क्या चाहिए, don't tell me like, you know, so don't tell me after I've come back and I'm just about sitting down, can you get some samosa? Like, you tell me from now, okay, I'll get everything, but when the thing starts, I want to sit there. And even all those people who come, you know, in between, no, like, or they come late and all that, like, I'm constantly upset. In the writer's room, you'll see that there are constantly references to, let's try and do this in a Mukulanand way. Let's try and, while we are saying, okay, let's also try and do this in a Francis Ford Coppola way.
Right. Yeah.
There are at least 100 directors sitting on my shoulders and on whose shoulders I sit.
No, but now I also want कि कोई secret camera आपके writers room में लगा हो, because मुझे लग रहा है वो भी काफी entertaining होता होगा आपकी
it
team
is,
के
and the
साथ
food
में.
is good.
But you know, आपने शक्ति की बात की, और एक चीज जो कि मैंने देखा है आपके you know the content that you've made, उसमें is mother's relationship, चाहे वो नीरजा रही हो, चाहे वो आर्या हो, and हमने आर्या के थर्ड सीजन में तो ये भी देखा है कि सिर्फ आर्या की स्टोरी या उसकी जो फैमिली रही थी उनकी स्टोरी नहीं, उसके बच्चों की स्टोरीज भी हमने आगे बढ़ती देखी, उनकी भी स्ट्रगल्स को देखा. Does this, you know, you wanting to tell the story of a mother come from a place where, you know, you've been inspired by your mother or something?
Well, we all are, right? Of course. And I am inspired by my mother, again, a very strong woman, and my wife's mother, very, very strong woman too. But along with that, I think we're all inspired by Nirupa Roy.
Why are you not making a comedy? You please tell me that.
Nirupa Roy really changed, you know, and everything from Manmohan Desai was another filmmaker that like we loved, right? And even the idea that she goes into a temple और वो मंदिर में वो भगवान के आँखों से वो the rays come out and they give her, it is magical realism.
Yeah.
This is a Gabriel Garcia Marquez moment.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a Salman Rushdie moment in literature, because you would never expect a movie to have that and to make it believable, and for you to not just believe it, but to actually sort of get emotionally, you know, sort of, they call it in Greek, they call it, sorry, a little diversification.
No, please, I'm loving
but
it.
in Greek, they call it Deus ex machina, okay, and or Deus ex machina, I don't know how to pronounce it, but this is when God enters.
Yeah.
And in most of what I will do, God will enter. I think also what happens is that between mothers and fathers in Indian society, why is it that it seems like mothers tend to get a greater status than fathers? And I'm only asking that question. I'm not making a statement.
I do feel it's going to change from this generation on. Because,
Is that
you know,
so?
yeah, I do see a shift in the way parents and fathers are parenting their children now.
Right.
But, you know, I think the whole setup, the social setup was so different in the 90s and maybe before that, that we did not get a chance to get emotionally close to our fathers as much because they didn't have the time. Or maybe they just knew that that's how it's supposed to be. But yeah, you're right. That has been a case for all of us.
And even with my grandmother, who, you know, so the matriarchy is something which is fascinating for me.
Absolutely, yeah.
So if you give me a chance between a father-son story and a mother-daughter story, or a mother-son story, I'll tell the mother story.
And I'm so happy about that.
And I was saying, in fact, earlier that because I think one of the things is, in Aarya season 3, you will realize that it is a story about a mother who sacrifices.
Yeah.
And I think sacrifice is something which, whether it's good or bad, I'm not, you know, sort of making a statement about that. And there is obviously a debate that can happen on sacrifice, which I'm not getting into. But that is what 3.2 is about, a mother's sacrifice for her children.
But you know, after the first season, हमने ये भी सुना था कि इसके 5 सीजन होंगे और आप हमें सिर्फ थर्ड सीजन में क्यों अंतिम वार कह के बता रहे हैं? Please tell me that there is another season planned after this. Like the
Can somebody
happily
else
ever
also
after.
answer this question?
The happily
Can
ever
you
after
answer
we
this
want to
question?
see.
Can the audience answer this question? Please. Why should
am
I
the
answer
audience,
this question? Yeah.
and I want it.
You've answered the question.
Oh my God. Okay. So, you know, सुष्मिता सेन की मूवीज़ जो हैं उन्हें देख करके हम बड़े हुए हैं और आर्या फिल्म के आर्या सीरीज़ के पहले एक ये सवाल ज़रूर उठा था कि सुष्मिता सेन और ये कैरेक्टर कैसे? And you know, she has just come out so brilliantly, successfully with this character. ऐसा ही ना कुछ 20 साल पहले समय फिल्म के साथ में भी
जी,
हुआ था, याद
जी,
है आपको?
yeah.
सबने सवाल उठाया था कि सुष्मिता सेन को हम कॉप के रोल में कैसे देखेंगे? I mean, she was too much of a Miss Universe to play a cop, and she was brilliant at it, right? So I'm going to give you a few movies, and you have to select which is your favorite. Okay? Yeah. So let's find out कि राम की सुष्मिता की favorite film कौन सी है? हम end में एक result पे पहुंच जाएंगे इस game से.
You know, I loved her in the Farah Khan movie मैं हूं ना.
Yeah, मैं हूं ना.
I loved her in that.
But I'm going to give you some options.
Ah, okay,
So,
good.
सबसे
Sorry,
पहले
go ahead.
समय या वास्तुशास्त्र?
समय.
Okay. समय या बीवी नंबर 1?
समय.
समय या मैं हूं ना?
मैं हूं ना. Just so that everybody knows कि मैं commercially minded भी हूँ.
मैं हूं ना या क्योंकि मैं झूठ नहीं बोलता?
मैं हूं ना.
Okay. मैं हूं ना या मैंने प्यार क्यों किया?
Are these movies that Sushmita was in?
Okay. मैं हूं ना या ताली? Another OTT.
I haven't seen Tali yet.
Okay.
I want to see Tali. So that is a question that I'm not able to
So, मैं हूं
answer
ना.
correctly. Yeah.
मैं हूं ना या आर्या?
Oi, 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 oi.
Got that. आना यही था हमें एंड में.
Aarya.
Oh my God.
Because I think Sushmita is Aarya.
Yeah.
And it is one of the rare characters in an actress's life where many things, the strength, the vulnerability, are all sort of fitting together, and it's an opportunity that like most actors don't get in their careers. And I think she has like got out there into the cricket pitch, and then she has every like ball that has come her way, she's like hit it out of the stadium.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So not because, I'm not saying Aarya because it's something that is part of my team and what we've done, and my co-directors and my co-writers and everybody who's been part of it. I really hate sitting here and taking all the credit. But I think that the reason I'm saying it is because for Sushmita Sen, because you're asking me from her perspective, I would say Aarya.
If I was also, in your place,
Right.
and even though I'm not a part of the team, I would have also chosen Aarya.
Aarya, yeah.
So that's the beauty of
It's
the
also
show.
rare for an actress to get this range,
Yeah, I
and
agree.
I think in some of the other stuff that she has done, it's not shown off everything that she can do. Yeah.
So we are waiting for the Shikar. That's happening with the Antim Var
Yes.
on 9th of February. So thank you so much, Ram,
Thank you
for
so
being
much.
a part
I hope
of this
everybody
chat.
likes it, and we will ask that question about the last season soon.
Waiting for it. Milenge jaldi. Thank you so
Okay,
much and
thank
all
you.
the best.
Okay, all the best. Thank you.
Radio Nasha.